Yeah, we got someone right here.
There we go.
We got
Lovely. We are in fact live, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
to the podcast. Episode 55? I think.
55? Really? Is it?
Fucking 5.
Oh my god.
And
Has it really been that long?
I can't all the way to schwifty.
Yes. Oh, Christ almighty.
55.
No, don't you fucking start with schwifty 5. Oh my god. Right. Welcome to the stream. There's a lot of angels on it. We've also got one non-angel. We've got Mr. Kitsune Risu, who is not, in fact, a lady, Phazon. Just future information.
Look at the crotch. Zoom in on the crotch. Zoom in.
we need evidence.
Yes, he's clearly
Guys.
pushing fired at some point.
Do I start speaking yet?
No.
No.
You
we
can start
never-
speaking whatever the hell you want. We talk over each other all the time.
Yeah, never stop. That's my
See me
tip.
try and talk. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, except your excuse now is you're too busy raiding in WoW.
Yeah, you don't get to talk. You're in.
Yeah.
Alright, fine. I'll just sit here and look pretty. And
Holy shit, Hellfire
You're
Citadel.
not even doing that. You're just sitting in
You'll
game.
look pretty at 5 frames a second.
No, that's why he looks pretty.
Guys, I have a potato here.
You want to close up?
Oh,
He does have a potato.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
a
no,
potato. Did you guys want it?
it's
Yes.
an upgrade to what cause
Yes.
using to film that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give to
Oh.
me.
Oh, jeez, I haven't been in Hellfire Citadel for years. Anyway,
I've
on with
never
the
been,
show.
because I've never
Why
sucked
are we
my soul
talking
away
about-
for WoW.
Oh my
Yes. God, is it? Wait. What's the latest expansion in WoW? Just quickly.
Warlords of Draenor.
Is it Warlords of Draenor? No,
Yeah.
because there was something else
There's
that came
one
after.
coming out.
Warlords of Draenor.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Draenor's the latest big update. The next one is coming out.
Yes.
god. No, I'm
Put
pretty
the
sure it's.
camera on Kitsune's screen here.
I'm
There we
pretty sure it's
go.
the Grand
Oh,
Turn.
dear.
Beautiful.
Oh, I thought that was Hearthstone only.
I was joking.
Right.
Fuck if I should know. I looked at card games and I went, yeah, well, I guess it's better because I can't get a pit, but I have so many other things to spend money on, like liquor.
That's the thing to buy. But
Exactly.
yes, so streams on. We have had no reviews for a little while due to health concerns of one of the angels and everyone else running around like a headless chicken. So we're not going to talk about the stuff that didn't happen. What we can talk about is our guest and thoroughly embarrass him in front of people, which will be hilarious.
Yes, and he will show off all his awesome figurines. And
Of
presumably his automaton.
So.
Don't
Pick him
tempt him.
first.
Don't fucking tempt him.
I want to see it. It sounds
Yeah.
hilarious.
Do I have a third?
No, we're not. Nobody's playing automatones. The little
Aww.
No.
After.
Do I have a
We
lower
have-
third?
He
I've been
fucking walked out.
Oh, we.
Later, nerds.
Aww. Come
So
back,
anyway.
Kitsu. We miss
Rip.
you.
I guess we
Fucking
could talk
rip.
about the fact that, like, Alex is alive.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
hey guys,
boring.
Alex isn't dead.
It's boring.
My
Oh, no,
alter
it
ego
is
didn't
back.
die.
Because seriously,
Guys, I'm gonna need this, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From.
You,
mean, you
you're
weren't
playing
listening
catch up
already?
at this point.
Yeah.
seriously, it's like
Everyone else has a head start.
figurine.
Mm.
Oh my
Oh.
freaking.
This is a Tom Collins in a proper Tom Collins glass. Just FYI.
We really need to have Arcanix here if you guys are going to sit and have proper discussions about mixed gin drinks.
This is ice cream, because this is about all I can keep down right now.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, poor Pav. This
Do I have
one's-
do I have a lower third? Because I've been trying to turn it.
No.
No.
You
need a
don't
camera
get
on.
one because
Yeah,
we have
no,
our
camera
cameras
on.
on.
Only for winners.
Oh.
No, it's only for closers.
Why would I want? Why would they only? What's,
Well, you don't have an image to have a lower third of.
yeah, I do. I got me right here.
No, you have to have a camera on
Yeah,
or
Yeah, that's-
display your screen, and then you can do it
that's
like
a
that.
circle. You
That's
can't have a
how-
lower
Yeah.
third of a circle. That's nonsense. You're silly. Stop it.
Right, circles can't be divided into threes. That would be ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
The very idea is laughable.
Absolutely madness.
But yes, our special guest, Kitsune Rizu, who will probably never want to come on the stream again after this debacle,
And hopefully we'll continue talking to me after this.
Actually, I mean, all things said, this is probably one of our better streams.
Oh,
we're
Jesus.
more on focus.
The worst part is you're not lying.
Yeah, he goes,
basically
am I
with-
the one I'm supposed? Are you the one I'm supposed to thank or blame? Oh no, I mean thank. I said no. Wait until the stream's over, then decide. I don't want you to jump the gun.
Yeah, it's true enough. But yes, for
I'm
those
gonna
of
go
you,
home, alright?
What?
Are you not home?
I would say, where are you recording from then?
yeah,
Dun
Where-
dun dun.
where are you in the public area that has
Breaking into a
anime
house,
dolls
yeah.
and automatons? And why are you there?
I heard someone mention that. I'm gonna check that out again. Be right back. Just in preparation.
Okay.
Exactly. Have it ready.
Okay.
You should hide under your desk and make it look like the anime dolls are talking.
Oh Jesus.
No, you have to get like the really big ones where you can like wiggle their arms and stuff. So they can be
Oh,
like flailing
jeez.
around.
No, well, grab your Dakimakura and use that instead.
Oh, but then
Your
you'll feel
Trixie
left out,
Dakimakura.
Alex. Then you'll have to get your Trixie one.
Yeah.
No one sent me one yet. I'm still waiting.
Oh, damn. I'll try and get on that.
Okay, good.
Oh dear. For those in the audience who perhaps do not know who Kitsune Ryuzu is, first of all, have you read any of our review rounds? Because he's
Because,
in
oh
like
my god, he keeps showing up, and you people should know better by now. He is
They
an
apparently
amazing
don't,
freaking
'cause-
author.
We
Right.
keep on featuring him over and over because fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Read his stuff. Do
Read
it.
his stuff.
Stop watching the stream. Just go read stuff.
If you
Well,
haven't,
no,
if you're
keep watching it. You can come back and watch the stream afterwards, because we will sit and pick his brains, and I will fangasm over Harmony.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you haven't been reading our reviews, why are you watching this?
You should be
Yeah.
fangasming
Because
over
you're some random Polish person?
No, it was Korean,
What?
wasn't it? It was the
I'm
Korean
sorry, random
website.
Koreans.
Excuse me?
I thought
Did I
There
miss
was
something?
Yeah,
there was a
we got, like-
round of there was a podcast where for some reason our podcast got uploaded to a Korean sharing website.
And it got like
It's-
4,000 views there. So.
It's
We're
unusual.
famous.
Yeah,
Yep,
we have a fan base in South Korea now. Hopefully South Korea.
That's
Yeah, but
probably
North
North
Korea,
Korea. I'm
not
sure
worried.
Kim Jong Un or is it? Kim
He's a
Jong-un?
big fan of your
Kim-
work.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
Yeah. Oh Christ. But yes, less of us, more about Kitsune. Okay.
Yes. So Kitsune,
Let's
how
unleash.
how much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you hate being here already?
I've
You
got an
don't have to
actual
dig-
question.
You don't
I've
have
got
to
an actual
dignify that
question
with
for
an
you.
answer.
Guys, guys.
Listening?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, so I'm just gonna be surfing some porn. And I'm
Okay.
gonna wait for this to clear up. All right.
So long as you don't do what Core's doing and stream it with the rest of us, we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. That's
Or
pretty
do.
much only request.
Whichever.
Or
I
do.
mean, as long as
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna be
Koreans like it.
interesting.
Or you could do that. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
I can't hear anyone saying anything.
Seriously?
Oh, do you not have headsets on? It-
He can't hear. He said he couldn't hear, so I don't think asking
Yeah.
questions is gonna help.
Beautiful.
I'll check on Skype.
You
Yeah,
try
yeah.
turning your headset on and off again.
Still, same problem. Same issue as before.
Fucking rip.
Anyway,
Jeez.
Kitsune has written such amazing things as Baby Tales, which is
Mm-hmm.
entirely the fault of Present Perfect, and I think one other person, but mostly Present Perfect.
No.
Baby
If
Tails,
you're gonna,
baby.
if you're gonna highlight anything, highlight Dust and Harmony.
Oh my god, yes.
Baby
But
Tails.
there's also
sounds
the
like
Marvelous
I
Adventures
don't-
of Princess
one where he-
Bartok.
The one where he takes the pilot of MLP and makes it into a western, and it's actually good.
And makes it fucking amazing.
I love
Kitsune,
Kitsune.
Dust and Harmony is one of those ones I point to when I go, this is how you do a good alternate universe fic.
Yeah.
I just want to say that Baby Tales sounds like a Troy McClure movie title.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
really freaking, like, body horror creepy.
Hmm.
Oh, so it's
Oh,
David
that's the-
Cronenberg.
That's
Yes.
the one with the horse skull for the.
Yeah, that was inspired by the picture.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah.
literally it was a toy, and you like opened it, and there's a doll head with the
Boy.
hair to the tail.
We really Cronenberg the world up, didn't we?
Oh, fuck off.
Alex, no. Alex.
Alex, please.
We really Cronenberg the podcast up, didn't we, Morty?
Oh, Jesus.
I think we lost.
Yeah,
I
the
think we
problem
lost
seems
your
to be
mic.
that he's just hearing. He seems to be lagging, and everything's just kind of gibbering. So I said, try relogging.
Alright.
Is it possible that he's got YouTube running in the background?
That will do
We
it.
got all the porn running. Even shouted.
Yeah, that's got the porn.
Porn on YouTube?
Well,
Talk.
Pat,
Well, I don't know. Are we
Fine
talking about
combinations.
like conventional penetrative porn, or are we talking like weird fetishes?
I mean,
That shit gets on YouTube all the time.
yeah,
What about,
there's a lot of the sort of thing where it's like two things fitting really neatly together, like a box sliding into another box.
Hang on. Wait.
Satisfaction porn.
Is that a real type of? Okay,
Yeah.
but that's porn in like in a really like abstract sense, not.
It's so.
That's not porn. It's porn in the same way that like
There is actual porn on YouTube. There's stuff like the "I'm the chef" or whatever it is.
what?
Or the lemon stealing whore.
You're making this up. You're just
No.
saying words now.
No,
Yeah, I've seen
there's a
this.
fantastic scene
It's
where
real.
it's like it's at the end of an actual porno scene, and there's a lady who's been bound up and she's like a hostage, and the porn actors are about to kill her, and they're laughing maniacally, and this random dude with a ponytail sneaks in while he's laughing and just goes ka-chunk behind
Hello.
him.
Kitsu!
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, it works! It works!
Yay!
Alright, sorry.
We were just talking about.
No, that's okay.
We were
we were
talking
talking about
porn.
pornography.
Yeah.
But before we move on from pornography, I want everyone to know that if you've ever seen the 1986, I think, movie Reanimator, based off the H.P. Lovecraft story, there is a porn version called The Repenetrator.
Repenetrator, and
Nice.
it's freaking hilarious because
Yes.
there's a scene where she sits up off the slab, grabs him by the throat, and goes, "Boom!"
What?
I've seen it.
I
It's
just
funniest
I just want to
shit.
say, Alex, I'm going to link you to the lemon stealing whore after this
Okay.
podcast because it's fucking great.
Oh God, yes.
It's
Two
fucking
other-
great.
Two other porn stories, real quick. One,
Damn it.
there's a porn parody of Edward Scissorhands called Edward Penis Hands.
Yeah.
I've heard of
involves
that, but I
him.
haven't seen it.
He tries to eat a turkey in one scene with his penis hand, and it's just great.
I love how Alex has become this connoisseur of porn parodies.
Oh, there's obviously because they have to use fake sperm.
Yeah.
It's like a ridiculous amount where it's just like fucking rockets. It's beautiful.
You know, I've had things like that before.
I've seen
last-
that scene before. Yeah.
Last and final porn story. I
Oh,
was
God.
13 and the movie 300 had just come out and I was trying to download it illegally as 13-year-olds do and
Mhm.
23-year-olds.
You're
And I
such a-
accidentally downloaded the porn parody without realizing
yes.
it and watched it on a school field trip while I was on the bus.
Yeah, I remember you telling us this. That's fucking
Yes.
Bravo.
Yes.
Alex,
That's all the porn.
Have you seen
Back-
the porn of the Abducted by the Daleks?
No.
No, I
I
haven't
will
seen that.
send you a copy. So it was
Jesus.
the BBC was selling off some
physical
assets. They
copy?
sold off a couple of Dalek models, and some
Oh,
fucking
wow.
porn company bought them and then made terrible, terrible porn with them. It was
Wow.
the funniest shit.
I feel like as a Brit, it's kind of an obligation for me to see this at some point.
Yes, you can
So-
pretty much only find it online because the BBC found out and got really mad and pulled all the copies.
I wonder why.
I know. Also, Plum Mr. Numbers would like me to tell you that he is in love with your voice, but no hetero.
So I just got a comment from my friend. About the fact that I pulled out a bottle of Bacardi and was drinking it just now,
Mhm.
and then he kindly reminded me that it's 9 a.m. where I am.
Yeah, but it's
Fantastic.
5 p.m.
But you don't have to
somewhere.
work, right?
It's
Like
5
9
p.m. somewhere.
here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's 2 a.m. here, so I'm happy with this.
It's 9:18
Alright.
for me, so.
On to porn of a different kind, the verbal kind, not verbal kind, the word kind, whatever the fuck. Whatever Kitsune writes, it's porn to someone.
Wait,
So,
Yes.
do they write
It is so amazing. No, shut up and
This is-
accept our compliments. You're an
this is-
amazing author.
I'm
This
not sure that's a compliment yet.
Wow.
You don't like the idea that your
Wow.
writing gives people like orgasms in
No,
some
no,
fashion?
no, no, no.
Literally.
Well, I could also construe that comment to mean that I've got a lot of cocks in. So
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone want to be
I'm
Edward
pretty
Peterson
sure
in
I
some
don't
fashion?
write about the cocks that much.
Well,
No.
maybe not on this account. Everyone's got a porn alt, right?
Now I'm trying to fucking figure stuff out, but for cheaper.
Oh god, I can just hear from Core's end. We're just listening into their team speak right now.
And now we will take 10 minutes of silence to watch Core on this boss fight.
He told me if I finish that early again, I'm getting recycled. What the fuck? What the fuck is
He's
going on in
no,
that chat?
he's talking about Soylent Green. If he finishes too early, he's gonna get turned into Soylent Green.
Oh jeez. Well, he's surrounded by Silent Green apparently, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, let's talk about Kitsune's fix and thoroughly embarrass him in front of an awful lot of people.
Already halfway there, man.
Perfect.
Get some legitimate questions from the stream here.
We
And some
do,
not legitimate
yeah.
questions as well.
Do we actually want to have? Oh my god, I forgot you wrote Dreamflow.
Questions for Keep today.
Yes.
What were you doing in the years prior to 1864?
Well,
An important question.
everyone knows that I'm, no one really knows my actual age, but it's somewhere between 800 and 900. That's all I'm going to say.
So that's an awful lot of time.
That is a lot of
Yes.
That's well
Been
before
around.
1864.
So you want me to encapsulate, like, the first 700 years of my life?
A brief biography. if you
Are we going back onto the porn subject right now?
Sure. Well, I actually have a penis on my desk. You want to see it?
Go on
I would
then.
love to see your penis.
Absolutely.
I have,
Anybody-
I have this
anybody-
penis. It's got a little face on it, you see, and it's happy to see you.
Oh, it's so happy.
Well then.
It's actually a penis totem from Bangkok, Thailand. It's a fertility thing,
Of
you know.
course it is. Of
It's
course
supposed to make me virile, and it does not work.
Have you been testing this aggressively? Like you just go out and go, hey, I'm supposed to be really virile. Want to try?
Like one point of it.
And you're annoyed that you're not leaving a trail of, one night stands who are all pregnant in your wake.
I thought you were gonna say something else there.
All I say is I have been busy for the past 700 years, so.
True.
Yeah.
They didn't. Yes, Johnny Applesperm over here.
So,
Good.
quick question: Who's the guy?
Back to the
Who's
fix.
the guy who actually asked that question? Is it Danny?
No, that was Archonix.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
What's next?
he actually has a second question.
He
If you're
does.
ready to move on from that one.
Sure.
He wants to know about a recent fic that you did. Celestia kills a teacup with Luna, and he wanted to know like how long that took you to write and like what your process is.
Aren't her neighbors?
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me when I say this.
Mm.
From conception to completion of Celestia Kills the Teacup of Luna, it took me 3 hours.
Bravo.
Wow. That's
You
pretty
said Baby
impressive.
Tales was similar to that, wasn't it? That you wrote it really
Baby
fast?
Tales took me 2 weeks over the course of 10 work lunches that I gave up in order to write it at my office.
This is dedication. Screw eating, I'm writing Pony.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have to hack into the office server to erase all my traces of being on FilmFic and Google Drive and all that kind of stuff. If you're listening right now, I'm sorry. I promise I won't do that too much. But yeah, Celestia Kills the Teacup with Luna. Actually, here's the thing. Like, a lot of my writing is quite heavy, as I think you all should know. And sometimes I get really stressed out writing it myself. So I tend to write brainless comedies to sort of get it out of my system. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to have fun. Sometimes you just want to write some crap.
I know how you feel.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So do
so
I.
so usually what I do is I check out the feature box, look at the trending, stories, and just kind of like just have a go at it, because screw respect, man. And yeah, so that one was I'm sorry, that one is not a parody of the Celestia has T fix.
Right.
And I've done a few others as well.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
So yeah, but usually because I don't give it any thought, I put it together really fast and I just just crank it out. I don't really edit it. Usually you're reading like my first or second drafts for my comedies, and that's it.
Mm.
Yeah, that sounds like me, except without the second draft part.
No, I mean
respect,
second
bro.
draft in the sense that you would throw a story at me and I'd edit it in like 20 minutes and then you'd post it.
Yeah,
You're more of
something
like
like that.
looking for typos.
Yeah, but before that, all of everything was first draft. I don't edit.
Yeah.
And it's very clear.
I mean, my process is throwing it to my editor and just going, does this look like shit? And if he says no, I post it,
Yeah.
That works.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
It's a solid strategy.
Oh, shit. I lost my tag.
Rip.
Oh no.
It should be like saved. You just need to like toggle it back on. I think.
Yeah. Open up the toolbox.
I, for a second, thought you said you lost your Tang, and then I started wondering. It made me go back to when I still drank Tang, when that was a thing.
Jeez.
People drank Tang.
Tang,
you're
Tang
not
actually
old enough to know what
disappeared.
Tang is.
Tang
What?
disappeared from my country like a couple years ago, like 10 years ago.
People
I
like
don't
smuggled
even
it
know
in.
what Tang is, so.
It's an
I know what
orange
Tang is.
soda. It's like
It's this thing that monkeys eat. Isn't it?
it had the monkey
It was
on it.
originally this like powdered orange drink for astronauts, and then they started marketing it to like for commercial use. It became a really big deal for a while.
It
Like,
became
yeah.
a big deal for
around.
like 10 years, and then it just
Basically,
disappeared. But
Basically,
it was
but only
it's-
orange.
Imagine like Gatorade, but in powder form, so you had to mix it yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So a powdered squash then. Okay.
Wait, so
Basically.
what's Kool-Aid then? I've actually never had Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid is
Kool-Aid
the
is
same
basically
as
like
Tang, but
Tang.
you have to add sugar.
It's Tang, but not in powdered form.
Oh, you know what?
Give them a pointless thing.
I just thought of a good British equivalent to Tang. It's like Lucozade, which is horrible.
Oh God.
Oh, dude,
why would
Lucozade
you
is
drink that
awesome. What are you
crap?
talking
No.
about, man?
It's
No.
Lucozade makes me
disgusting.
want to vomit.
No,
It
it's
depends.
Lucozade and Iron Brew. God, why would you do that to yourself?
Iron Brew is fucking. I will cut you. Fuck off with the Iron Brew.
Bring it.
The best.
You're
No, but for
welcome to
real.
fucking try.
For real. The best bit about Iron Brew, like whether or not you like the drink or not, is the fucking advert where they parodied the snowman.
Oh,
I don't,
God,
do you guys know what the
why?
snowman is?
No.
No.
I'm walking through the air. That one.
Oh
No.
yeah.
It's that, but it's about Iron Brew. I'm
Okay.
falling through the air. I wonder where I'm going to land. That fucker stole my Iron Brew and let go of my hand. So, it's fucking great. Seeing it on TV. Oh, God.
The only reason I know of it is because I have a Scottish friend who lives nearby, and there's a British store by my house that sells it. And when she found out, she begged me to bring it for her. So I brought her back 8 liters of the stuff.
There used to be a really great series of commercials for what beer was it? It was
Red
shit.
Stripe, Dos Equis.
No. This was like back in the early 2000s. It was about the like great men of action or something like that.
Oh, I think it might have been like butter.
Oh shit! What was it?
Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yes.
Yeah, those.
We salute you, Mr. Whatever popcorn guy, or like it would be like some
Whatever
random thing.
popcorn guy.
Oh, those
Yeah.
commercials were the best. Those were
Oh,
so
those
funny.
are ridiculous. I actually really like the Red Stripe ones, just because they're very like that Jamaican style of humor.
What is the Jamaican style of humor for the uninitiated?
I'm trying to remember, like, the last one I remember seeing was, like, these two dudes in a locker room. Like, the one guy has this grossly inflated head. Like, he looks like a bobblehead doll. And he's like, oh, hey, man, thanks for letting me borrow your sweater. I may have stretched it a bit. And Buddy, like, picks up his sweater, and it looks like you could pretty much pass, like, a pig through it. And some black dude wearing this flawless white suit with a red sash goes, "Boo, large-headed friends! Hooray, beer!"
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It
What?
was just so random.
What the fuck?
I
I
remember
don't know, but they crack me up because they're just so ridiculous, just out of nowhere.
There's another Red Stripe commercial where it's talking about, like designated driving and like having a safe ride home, and so he's just like, yeah, you should never drive drunk. So here, friend, give me your keys. And this guy's has a beer and he's just like, no, I'm not gonna give you my keys. And he says, but I shall be clever. Give me your pants. He's like, yeah, okay, I guess. Takes off his pants, gives him the pants, and the guy, fishes out the keys. He's like, hooray, responsibility! Hooray, beer!
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
What the fuck?
They're
Okay.
just so hilarious. I love
Okay.
them. It's a really
There's
nice
a-
beer, too. Like, they come in little stubby bottles.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's quite good.
There's I stumbled across a really since we're talking about commercials apparently.
Yes.
I stumbled across a really random Japanese commercial that
Oh,
does
God.
not you have no idea what it's
The
about.
Japanese commercials aren't random somehow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna correct you. I stumbled across a Japanese commercial.
Yeah.
Story.
Anyways, point being, it's a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes long, which is ridiculously long for a commercial. And it's about this guy moving to a new city, and he sees all these really hot girls, and every one of them he speaks to, they speak with this really raspy voice, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And he gets really confused, and eventually he just runs away, and he's running through this town, and all the girls are like, what's wrong with him? And they say it in his raspy voice, and eventually he meets this, she's supposed to be an ugly girl, and she has this cute voice, and then the next scene is them waking up in bed the next morning, and she's like, why me? And then he's like, your voice. And then it cuts to a shot of a stadium and all these people screaming at a baseball game. And
Ah.
Oh,
What
that's
the fuck?
awesome.
so the whole commercial was for a baseball stadium, but it's 2 minutes of a guy running around listening to girls in raspy voices.
I was going to say, just, wow.
Interesting.
My
About the
favorite
only
girl was
commercial.
It's bizarre.
yeah.
Well, the only commercial
actually seen that one.
was noteworthy that Japanese commercials in general are very strange. They had Tommy Lee Jones who had laser vision at one point in one of these adverts for an
Oh yeah,
energy
for
drink.
Boss Coffee. Yeah.
Boss Coffee.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
it
he's
is.
done a hell of a lot for Boss Coffee.
Yeah.
And then there's the one where they got Hulk Hogan to sell air conditioning systems.
Nice. I can't think of many weird British adverts. There's the Iron
You've got the Cadbury one. You've got the
There's
Cadbury
a
one.
fucking cat
Cadbury?
one.
Oh, the milk one with
Yeah,
the
the
That
ones
is
where they're like,
fucking bizarre.
Cadbury, this is wonderful milk chocolate, and then they do stuff. That's...
the kids with the eyebrows in the Cadbury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just thinking about the time Mr. T was advertising for Snickers, which was
Yeah.
interesting.
That
Just
was
rolling up
different.
into a house with a tank to get some nuts. But yeah. Enough about adverts for a while.
Kitsune is amazing. Let's talk about his shit.
We do have a question here that Kitsune can address as well as some other
Sure.
people. So, what tips do you have for getting your story out there? Self-promotion and description can only do so much.
Not true. Self-promotion and description is the most important part. Description, I would say. I'm being completely serious when I say this, that I think that the short description of your story is the single most important thing in getting people to read it.
I'll agree with that because especially if it's in the new list,
Yes.
you really don't see much of the cover art. All you see is the description, and if it's a good description, you can grab so many people.
Because you have to get someone's interest with the short description in 1 or 2 sentences. If you don't,
Yeah.
they're not going to click on it. And titles are also pretty important, but to a lesser extent.
Outside of what you can physically do with the story, the way you can act around the site, there are some things you can do,
Sure.
getting a self-promotion bureau and joining relevant groups and basically network, talk to people who like that sort of thing and discuss ideas.
Yeah, I would still argue that stuff only gets you so far. There's a few people that have gotten pretty far by self-promoting, but I think that the best and most surefire way of doing it
Yeah.
is learning how to write a good short description. I mean, after that, if you want to keep followers, you gotta have good stories. But if you want to get people to view your story, good short description.
And cover art, of course.
Yeah,
and cover
that
art.
really
But
helps.
the cover art is less important because when it shows up on the new stories, all you see is the short description.
True, but
Well, clickbait helps.
Yeah.
Cover art is pretty important.
Just have two girls kissing. You're set. All right, that's my advice.
No matter what the story
Go out
is.
on Google. No matter what your story is, it could be like a depressing story of Applejack's dog dying. Just get two girls kissing on the cover. You're set.
I wrote a story once about Applejack's dog dying.
Yeah, it's great. It's a poker thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
I guess she didn't die.
I'm gonna make a new piece of cover art for Baby Tales where I just take two of the horseskulls and make them like that, like kiss like that.
Make it two skulls kissing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
They're just rubbing butts together or something.
Skulls are rubbing butts.
No, I tell you what, you just go and get one of those inflation pictures of Sweet
Oh,
Fellow.
jeez. Oh,
And there you
jeez. There
Oh.
we go.
There you go.
But yeah, cover art. General tips: don't use General Zoi's Pony Maker.
Yes.
General Zoi's Pony Maker.
People will stay
Well,
away.
there goes 90% of my fix.
Oh, of course they are, clearly.
Yeah, abstract is okay. You know, if your story's about Twilight, like talking with Celestia, you don't have to have a cover art of Twilight and Celestia. You can have something abstract. That's perfectly fine. And don't use General Zoi's Pony Creator. Those are the four main tips that you need to follow.
I will add one tip to that. Don't try to be artsy and pick a picture of like just raindrops. I've done that. Never works. Never ever works. Does not matter. Nobody's gonna look at your store if it's just raindrops.
You know, okay. On a more serious note, Alex, that's actually what I do with my covers most of the time. I put up some stupid,
Well, this is where you keep on getting
nobody
around.
That. Fair enough.
And I can attest that it does not work well. All right,
That's
my
true.
descriptions are terrible. My cover art is terrible in the sense that it doesn't, market to a wide audience.
And you gotta learn how to market.
Yeah, my viewership isn't that high. So if you want to get people interested in your stuff and you want to build up your base, listen to that guy over there.
Don't do
Right.
what
Listen
I
to the
do.
guy who's not writing at the moment
Alex
because he's
Magnet.
being mature and, getting engaged and shit, unlike the rest of us.
Loser.
I know, right?
What a pleb.
Yeah.
Right. Such a
I believe
scrub.
that Thorax did call you a casual.
He did
Oh.
call me a casual
He's
because
a
I have a
filthy
rarity
casual.
poster on my wall. So,
I think
yeah.
we had multiple rarity posters.
I have one rarity poster, one Twilight. I've got Chrysalis, Trixie, Celestia as a robot, Pinkie Pie in Limbo, Celestia and Luna, and the Captain from Romantically Apocalyptic, because he's the best pony.
Best choice. I
Yeah.
have his dog. It's my favorite.
Yes.
All
I got that
made it
signed.
taste better.
Yeah.
I have his
in my
autograph. I actually got it at Canterlot Con, but it's not on the mug, so I want to be able to use it.
Fantastic.
But asking a continuation on that question,
Just
how
before you do,
important?
Pav, quickly. Reminder to everyone in the public chat, we will take your questions, so please ask them. Carry
No, we won't. We won't.
on.
How
We might.
seriously we'll take them is a different matter.
That is
Yes.
true. We will completely take the piss.
Hey, just like reading them and not having them be drowned in the general faffery is an accomplishment in this chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So continue,
Fucking too
Pat. You were saying.
Because I've had this question as well. The importance of groups. I mean, obviously, like if you are writing a ship fic, putting it in because pretty much all ships or major ships have their own group. So obviously, put it in the group for that. But then, what do you guys think about kind of the more general groups that, like, there are groups for specific ponies. There are groups for, like, shipping, which has, like, 7,000 fics in it. There are, like, all of these, like, Celestia's library and Cadence's library and Sweet Coast library and, like, all these, like, kind of, you can basically just kind of start spamming, like, 30, 40 groups if you really wanted to. What is everyone's opinion on that versus, like, keeping it to less than 10 and keeping it to the very focused groups?
My vote is like 25 groups at the most.
I'd
If
say
I
25 groups is a bit high, honestly.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of my feeling.
That's a lot.
Like, 25 is exceptionally high. Like, I would usually say, like, 10 to 15 or so.
I'd say
feel like-
a dozen as the author, and if your fans want to add it to my personal favorites, the group, or whatever.
I'm
then,
gonna. If I could throw in my personal experience, I've never added any of my fics to any groups, and because I've never found them to actually really be that useful. And way back, like a year, maybe a year and a half ago, President Perfect wrote up a blog post where he sort of did a vaguely scientific study of finding out how much groups really affected your viewership. It turns out, on average, it was adding like 30 to 40 views to a fic. So adding your fic to a bunch of groups, it's really not going to do that much for you. So I would say don't bother, because to me, it's just annoying.
30 or 40 views may not seem a lot for some people, but for starting authors,
yeah,
I was gonna say, geez,
some
Alex.
people want 30 or 40 views, you know.
God, Alex,
you know,
you're so much better than the rest of us.
I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm out.
Rip. Yeah. Go join Corin, wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Freaking
I don't know. I think it depends on the group, actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because there seems to be a volatile level of saturation that each group has, you know, like when groups first start out and the people are actually interested and, you know, they gather all these new fics, everyone's happy about that. And then suddenly you have like everyone and their moms adding fics to the groups, right? And it reaches this point where people just start turning off notifications because everyone's just adding their stuff to that group for self-promotion. And that's the point when the group just doesn't become effective anymore because no one cares. And then that's why new groups are being made every day, because of the fact that they're like, you know, okay, this group is actually not doing its job of sorting the wheat from the chaff, so let's make a new one. And then, you know, the whole process goes over again. You get a new group and it you know, gets oversaturated, and then a new group comes out. So maybe groups will help, but I mean, for me, I don't actually have a habit of adding my fics to that many groups because I can't really find a lot of groups that my fics necessarily fall into, except for like the character ones.
That's
I'd say, like the best sort of group that you're after is a group with a large member count that has restrictions on what gets posted, so it's not just everyone dumps their stories. Like,
Moderation, I think.
What Twilight's Library used to be before it went up in smoke, you know, stuff like that.
I would say before Arkham burned out.
Rip.
I was gonna say that, like, you know, you write a ship fic, add to the shipping group. There's like 8,000 members in that group, and they probably get like 500 fics every day. How many people are going to read your story?
Yeah.
How many people actually have notifications turned on that are members of that group?
Yeah.
So you're probably not actually notifying anyone.
And out of, like, it's worth noting that when your story is added to a group, all they get is this title was added to the group by this person, and that's literally the entire premise on which people are judging whether or not your story is readable.
Yeah, I have story notifications turned on. I click on maybe like one story like every couple of weeks, and then like even then it's a toss up whether or not I actually like it enough to.
I was gonna say, like, of all those ones that you even bother to click, how many do you even read past the description?
Not many, to be honest. Like, because like you said, the description is everything, and because the description is supposed to tell people this is what you're getting into, and if they see, people do judge a book by its cover, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's unfair to judge someone by their description. The description should tell you what the story's about. If it doesn't do that,
that's what I mean. I mean,
I wrote like a long blog post about this months ago before I left, where I compared short descriptions to the short description is like the headline of a newspaper. It's supposed to get your attention to read the story, which is the longer description, and then the long description takes you to the book. So it's sort of like reading, I don't know, a short description is like watching a trailer for a movie.
Hopefully with fewer spoilers, because I know of a fair few trailers that have absolutely ruined movies.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, people want spoilers in the trailer.
I was gonna say, yeah. They've done studies on that shit.
So I got a question for you guys.
Sure.
Sorry. talking about that, that's actually kind of interesting because one thing that was brought up to me was that in a short description, or a long description, in fact, since you want to hook people, right? You want to get the interest going. You want people to be like, yeah. How much of the story are you willing to spoil in your descriptions?
I have always found,
on the sake of the story.
I've always found that being vague but not annoyingly vague is the best way to go.
That is an annoyingly vague answer.
I was going to elaborate by saying that you wanna give a sense of what the story is about, but in a way that doesn't give it all away.
You want to approach the hook, but never actually explicitly state it.
Writing short descriptions
And remember,
is actually
too,
a really good.
that,
It's actually a really good way.
Sorry, Squirrel. I was just going to say, remember that genre tags are pretty meaningful. You don't have to tell people it's a comedy if you've tagged it.
Yes, for crying out loud. Don't oversaturate.
Go ahead.
I know. Step on the squirrel night tonight. You know.
Squirrel has turned into core.
I'm just gonna start talking, and I'm not gonna stop. And if people just want to
filibuster.
That's my general way of talking. Yes. Carry on, Squirrel.
Short descriptions is actually a really good writing exercise in and of itself, because every single word, if a good description is like a good story. Every word tells you something, and it's not overly long or overly short.
Yeah.
It has to kind of hit that sweet spot of this is what you're getting into, but it's not everything that you're gonna see.
Right.
And as far as genre tags go, yes, please, God, don't oversaturate your story with genre tags. I use maybe like 3 at most.
I would say 2 to 3 is the
max.
One for me is ideal. One for me is ideal.
I mean, that's the thing as well. You know, in long fics, you're gonna have a little bit of everything. There's gonna be a lot of drama. There's gonna be a lot of comedy, sadness. You know, there's gonna be everything. The question is, really,
the slow escalation.
Which of the genre tags do you want to go for? You know, how do you want to represent your story? That's
depends on what kind of theme that you want to get across in the story.
Yeah.
Like a tragic story having maybe Pinkie Pie telling a few jokes in one chapter doesn't deserve the comedy tag, because at the end of the day, the overall theme of the story is going to be Sweetie Belle's losing her mum or something like that. You know, that's not a comedy thing.
And that's exactly why all of these stories that
the next porn fic I'm gonna write.
All of the genre tags that are possible to give into a story, you can tell right there the author doesn't actually know what they're going for. So if they didn't really know, then how are you going to figure out the story? And you're not going to enjoy reading it.
Yeah. Clarity. You want to communicate your story quickly and efficiently to the audience. That's I think that's the key, right?
There was the longest time where things like...
I want to see how tall you can make that.
I don't have enough things to make this much.
Just put other things. You have a pet cat.
7 feet tall.
6'5". But yeah, like there was the longest time. There was the longest time on FinFiction where conflicting genre tags were actually banned. Like you couldn't submit a tragic comedy.
I think you still can't, right?
Although that's because you can have tragic comedy. That's a thing. That's a real thing.
It was pissed off people who wanted to use it legitimately.
Yeah,
but,
you couldn't.
most people were not.
Use adventure and slice of life.
But even then, it kind of.
And there's one thing that I want that they don't have, because I want them to break dark and horror up. But they're never gonna do that because dark is not horror. You know, I'm sorry.
No,
I would agree.
I want sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that alternate is sort of sci-fi, but it's not really.
It's not really,
I never know.
I mean, the closest you get to sci-fi is adventure, and then make sure your description has something that mentions sci-fi in it.
Yeah, I've seen people who write sci-fi stuff actually tagging it in the description sci-fi. And certainly on EQG, when we get fics that are described as sci-fi, we try and tag it as such in, like, our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like that point earlier about leveraging the tags and the short description and the image all together, because like I did that with, not wildly successful, but I wrote this comedy fic that had a very sad picture. It had this tragic description about Rarity comforting Applejack and all this pain and regret, ending with, well, sorta, and then it's tagged romance comedy. So
Yeah.
a little bit of just kind of playing with the meta information.
Was this the Up a Tree fic?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that fic was perfectly tagged.
I would definitely say that tags also play a really important role in the because tags can do a lot of the work of a short description.
Yeah.
If you do it right, like if you know what you're doing, a tag can be a short description in itself, sort of, in a weird way.
Even with this example, it's like if this was tagged sad, you would read the description in a different way than you would read it if it was tagged comedy.
Oh yeah, I would read it and say, this is going to be dumb, I'm not going to read this.
Yeah.
And if you read it with comedy, you'd think exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It's really different. I mean, like in film, you can take, a scene that is meant to be dramatic and like add a comedy like background song to it, and that can actually make it comedic. You don't do that in writing.
Guile's theme goes with everything.
Yes.
Oh God, no.
In film,
That's why
all you do
that's
is...
why tone is important, Ferret. You got to set up your tone early, and then you can turn anything into a comedy.
Yeah,
Rarity's mother's dead. Hooray!
And then the cover picture is Rarity throwing her hands up in the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
It opens with a rendition of Ding Dong the Witch's Head.
Sorry, I think that's actually the power of the cover art, because it's a great tone setter.
Yeah.
Like if you had Schindler's List and you put like a little cartoon drawing of them all happy and stuff, I would watch it for that.
I don't know though, like even if
it's a lovely family comedy.
Yeah, but at the same time, think of the book Room. Like the cover of that is written like in crayon colors, and it's a really serious story. Like, so just because it's a child's drawing can still have like a more serious, somber tone to it.
Sure.
Well, it reminds me of the thing that they did for the Harry Potter series, right? Where they
you mean when they republished them with adult covers?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like black and white and serious looking because they felt embarrassed reading.
They did that with
books?
Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, they did. No, wait.
Oh, I know they started.
No, wait.
Those are terrible.
Terry Pratchett was because the original guy, I think it was Paul Kidby, he passed away.
Yeah, that's because Paul Kidby died.
There's two things. Like the first, like when Discworld started, you had those like insanely detailed.
Yes, Paul Kidby's amazing covers.
Yeah. After that, you got less crazy but still insanely detailed ones by another artist.
Kirby.
And then they did re-releases where it's a black background and an artistic shot of. Like Hogfather's is an artistic shot of a meat pie and a glass of some sort of sherry.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, those are terrible.
Yeah, no, they're really awful. The reason that happened, I believe, was that they wanted to relicense them, but they had problems with Kidby's estate. Like, they wouldn't let them relicense the art or something.
Did they change publishers or something? Because if they change publishers, they can't take the rights for the old covers as well.
But what I recall hearing was they had problems with his estate, and they wouldn't let them relicense the art, but they wanted to republish the books. So for whatever reason, rather than going for new frigging art, they just made those really hideous, ugly covers.
Yeah, they're not great.
When those first came out, I remember haunting eBay a bunch and thrift stores to find the original ones.
Mm-hmm. I do have a handful of those ones. I think I've only got two. Like one of them is the Hogfather, and I've got something else. But
I think I have Snuff in that cover.
I thankfully have Snuff is the one with the goblins, right?
Yeah, Snuff is the one with the goblins. That I thought was bad because
poop.
I totally knew the twist that was coming because I have studied Indian cultures. So everyone's like super shocked, and I'm going, oh, I knew what it was from the beginning. I'm sorry.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like Terry Pratchett is a genius. Terry Pratchett is a genius in how he works so many different things into his stories. But if you know the things already, sometimes you can just get a hint and figure out what's going to happen. So.
And like that, but I'm so used to his books being so surprised. So going into it, I'm like, wait a minute, he's not doing this, is he? And then it happens, and I go, oh, wow, I feel really smart. I knew what it was.
There was one book of his which was about the assassins, right? And for like, I'm not making this up. For like the first 3/4 of the book, they were talking about this thing called a gon, G-O-N-E.
Yes.
And I had no idea they were actually referencing a gun. I was like, wow, this is some amazing...
you're reading it, you're like, what the heck is a gon?
It took me a little while as well, yeah.
Oh no, same. I was completely lost. Yeah, it wasn't until they actually described it going,
right,
that's what it is. Yeah, well,
which story was that? Was that Guards? It was one of the
No, it wasn't Guards.
It wasn't. It's Men in Arms.
Men in Arms, right.
Guards is the one with the dragon.
Yeah.
Guards was great.
Yeah, Guards is when Drumknot first appears.
Welcome to our special guest, Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
I fucking wish.
I wish.
I've picked up.
He's a ghost, though.
We'll get the Ouija board out. It'll be perfect.
We'll use his spinning corpse to drill for oil.
He's actually him like a mythology researcher did. I think it's like the Magic of Discworld or something, or the Myth of Discworld or something.
I have that
and
book.
It's literally him. It is freaking amazing. I love that book. Like I remember picking it up and just going like, oh yeah, this is a thing. This looks okay, and just reading and going, oh, this is brilliant.
I picked up the very last Terry Pratchett book a couple of weeks ago. It's the last one. It's the Tiffany Aching story.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a Tiffany one, isn't it? Because I've read Steam, but I haven't read the Tiffany one.
Right, I haven't I've not been able to bring myself to read that book yet. It's been sitting on the side of my, somewhere over there. It's been there for like 2-3 weeks.
I actually felt really conflicted when I read Steam because I wasn't as enthused about it as I thought I would be.
No, I can totally sympathize. Like I can't think of anything particularly that I dislike.
Because I felt so terrible. I'm reading it, I'm like, I want to love this. Like, then this was even before he passed, and I was just like, I don't like this as much. Oh God, what's happening?
I can agree.
My biggest problem is that he humanizes Vetinari, and I like Vetinari as this like just
Vetinari is a force of power. You can't take.
Yeah, exactly. And then humanizing him, like the fight with the crosswords and stuff, I was just like, no, this is not who he's supposed to be. This is no.
I think late into his career, he kind of started simplifying things. I noticed, the modernizing Morpork series, right? With what's his face?
I don't.
It started with. Making money and going postal.
Oh, the modern stuff. Yeah.
The modernizing Morpork, right? It started getting really simple then, and I also noticed that he started using chapters for the first time.
Yeah,
never written with chapters
also, I think
before.
a Tiffany thing, and
right?
I think people kind of browbeat him into it.
But
to be fair, I'm one of those readers who, when I get really engrossed, I don't even notice chapters. I just I was gonna read one chapter and I've just read 6.
I've always needed a bookmark for his stuff, and then suddenly I didn't need a bookmark anymore, and I was wondering why. And I was, they're numbers.
I've just over the years I've just gotten very good at memorizing page numbers. Like I know for a fact that I'm on page 276 of.
Can you do that thing where you just open the book and boom, it's right there on the page?
I wish I could.
Break the spine.
I've seen people do that, and it's crazy.
Oh God, yes. I don't know. I didn't find they got simpler. Like I guess simpler in terms of simplifying, what was actually happening on an economic level. But I didn't find that I felt like they got any more simplistic.
I don't know.
Not simplistic in that sense.
Okay.
I meant like.
Yeah, like what do you mean?
Sort of like the way he delivers stuff wasn't as fanciful. It didn't take as much interpretation to understand what was going on. Things were actually a little bit clearer, I think. And I don't know if this is because of the, he was getting into late stage Alzheimer's at that point.
Yeah.
And it's for me, when I was reading from that point on, it just started getting not bad, mind you. Don't get me wrong.
Different.
It's not bad. Just different, and there was a noticeable difference in it. I like them. I really like. I wish I remember what his name was. Can someone help me?
Moist von Lipwig.
Moist von Lipwig, yeah.
Vig.
Because he starts as Albert Spangler.
Yes.
Lidvig.
Yes.
He is from Uberhold.
Lidvig.
Yeah. And he's never been to the old country, but he still knows Lipvigzers.
Arconix
thinks he does.
Arconix has made a comment in the public chat saying that his basic impression of Rising Steam was made up of lots of little stories that you only see parts of, but it comes together as a whole. It was essentially Pratchett saying goodbye to his world by visiting as much of it as he could in a single book.
Oh, god damn it, Arch, you're gonna make me start crying.
No.
But he was writing another one already. That wasn't his last one, was it?
Yeah, there is one more after that.
Yeah, but it was never finished, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's published, so I'm assuming his daughter finished it or something.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, which
Yeah, I
one's
bought
that?
it.
What is off writing for
Oh,
Square
is that
Enix?
the aching one?
Yeah, the aching one came after. I've got it here.
Okay.
I have not
There we
been
go.
up to date.
The Shepherd's Crown.
That
Oh,
looks
gotcha,
nice.
gotcha. I really love the last one, I Shall Wear Midnight.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Brilliant. I loved that one character returning. Like, I remember reading that. I think I was at my uncle's because we swap books back and forth. Like, one of us buys it and then we borrow it. I remember reading his copy and just squealing on the couch going, oh my gosh, she came back!
Yeah.
And him coming running, what? But I just got to the part! Oh my god!
I know a lot of people are
Alex
iffy
Lord
on the
Lord,
Tiffany
we
Aching
changed
books.
the topic. I really like them.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. I particularly
I found
enjoyed
her
the
like
Knack
a really
Knack
approachable, interesting character, and I loved, the way he was blending another story into the universe. So I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah. Oh, apparently there were only meant to be 4 Tiffany books based on the 4 elements, but in Discworld there's the 5th element, the element of surprise.
Yes. How can you forget the
Nice.
element of surprise? All right, we should go back to
surprising.
Fangasming and Kitsu because I want to talk about Dust and Harmony.
Go on, then.
It's fucking amazing. Seriously, like he can verify 3/4 of the comments I leave in the chapters are just me going, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's all you say, and I always think I do a bad job because.
No, that's me going,
It's
oh
like,
my god, I don't know. how to
Jesus
react because
Christ,
it's
write
so
something
fucking
good, damn it! What's wrong with you?
No.
Goat.
That's a nice goat there, John. I like that goat.
It's a lovely goat.
It is
It's a lovely goat. Lovely
No,
little
it's
Carry
like,
on,
I don't
man.
know what else to say because the chapters are so fucking
The thing
amazing.
about Dust and Harmony is that it nails that feeling of a gritty western while still feeling
Okay.
Yes.
My Little
Okay,
Pony.
I did not know that you guys read it. I thought that Ferret was the only one who
Are you
read
kidding?
that.
No.
Because,
faked it.
like-
I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Because you're a fan fiction writer and none of you have egos. Except one Erdi who's a freak.
True.
Jesus Lord.
Oh, Christ.
God,
Well,
yes.
if it makes you feel better, I didn't read it.
Yeah, except
man.
when I mentioned Kitsu was going to be on the stream, you're like, oh, awesome, that guy's really good. I remember him.
Yeah, I remember from the fix that I read for reviews, but I don't read other things.
Of course
That
not,
is
Alex.
true.
That was
I'm
like
your
that was
alter
like
ego.
a year ago.
That is true. Alex does not read. This is
No,
true.
that's why I read copiously, because I have to make up for it, because I'm his alter ego, remember?
Yes.
I used to make up for it by writing copiously, but
Yeah, Alex, why aren't you holding up your end of the deal? Jeez.
whatever. I wonder if
Works,
Floyd
then.
is still. I wonder if Floyd's still waiting for Suplexia.
Probably.
I'm still waiting for Suplexia, you.
Seconded. Where the hell is that shit?
I don't know. I wrote like 1,000 words of it like 6 months ago. It's somewhere
What? Why
in
didn't
my
you
Google
tell me?
Docs. I don't know. I think I
Why
deleted
fucking
it.
send them to me, you jackass?
He did disappear off the face of the earth, so.
Yeah.
Well, he did get mono, and then his appendix exploded.
And then he's
And
got
then,
engaged.
he went and got married.
Well,
Get engaged. I'm not married yet.
Yeah,
close enough. Oh,
exactly. Same damn diff.
But yes, back onto the subject of ferret fangasming about Kitsune.
Because
it's
holy
hilarious.
shit, his fics are so fucking good. No, like, fucking
I-
Dreamflow is amazing.
I feel the moistness coming from your direction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, dearie me.
I'm
This
sorry,
is one
I'm trying
hell
to
of an
stop
odd.
drooling.
This is one hell of an odd stream, isn't it? We started the bloody stream with a discussion about porn and like Kitsune showing off his
Advertisements?
face penis dildo thing from
It's not a
Bangkok.
dildo!
Well, it's an incredibly phallic object with a face on it. So
I mean, it could be.
Totally.
Anything could be a dildo.
It'd be great.
Yeah. As long as
Anything
you're ambitious
anything
enough.
could be a dildo if you're angry enough.
True.
Ooh, true enough. Just
dear.
make sure to be able to take it out afterwards, because really, the ER guys do not need more drinking stories.
I was just about to say that's what the ER was for.
I just, in my mind, every time someone talks about that sort of thing, I'm just reminded of the X-ray where someone's got a Buzz Lightyear in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, wasn't that for Jackass? Didn't they do that on purpose?
I have
They
no
probably
idea.
How did they get the wings to come out?
Because it deploys inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but okay, here's the thing.
There's a lot of pressure from those
The tensile
muscles.
strength of the inside of an anus is more than the tiny little springs that a Buzz Lightyear toy has. So the
You
wings
never had a
can't
Buzz
push
Lightyear toy.
the butt
Those
out.
wings would
Alright.
take your eye out. Those wings could kill you. Fucking hell.
I had the Woody,
Oh, look,
alright?
look,
But like,
all right, let's all stop and appreciate
can
that comment
the
in the
anus
middle
go
of this
like that?
conversation.
The
It's
wings
extremely
were well in,
apropos.
Welcome back,
Pat.
Pat.
Back at the best possible time.
the wings were well inside the anal cavity. I'll have you know.
I just want to point out that if a person could stick a Buzz Lightyear action figure in their ass, I am sure that it's loose enough for the wings to come out.
Right.
I don't know.
Pav's
I
the
might have
expert on this subject.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Pab is our go-to in terms of anal capacity.
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
We've lost 3 viewers. As
And
soon as
this
we start
is
talking.
Let us.
Well, you know what?
Because
And they went, oh my god, I gotta try this.
Someone just found their box of old children's toys. Like, that's where my Buzz Lightyear went.
Oh, Andy.
This
Oh.
There's a new Toy Story movie coming out. I don't want to see it anymore. Oh, God.
Is that when they
Woody
found
gets
Bo
to have
Peep?
new life.
No, that's where they found Bo Peep. She's been hiding up the ass of the kid for the whole last movie.
Oh, God.
And then Woody finds her again.
This hangout is an absolute train wreck. Good God.
Like they are
When
normally-
has it not been?
Well, I don't know. Things.
In
things
seriousness, can we
Did
talk about
things-
Dreamflow?
Did things calm
Okay.
down after I left? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Ish.
Ish.
Okay. Can we please, as fun as this is, can we actually talk about Dreamflow? Because I really do want to.
Go for it.
An explanation, like, where did you get the idea? And I mean, how did you manage to write it? Because, like, the thing that amazes me is for people who haven't read the story, it's basically Applejack is having these really odd dreams. And so she goes to Pinkie Pie and goes, hey, Pinkie, stuff's going really strange. But the really cool thing is that only the dreams are actually, like, narrated. When she's talking to Pinkie, it is purely talking heads. Except it works so well. Like, you always know exactly who is talking because their voices are so solid. And the story that unfolds in it is just amazing.
If the answer is that it came to you in a dream, I'm gonna kick you out of this chat.
If the answer is it came to him in a dream, I will fucking fly down to Singapore and punch him.
I'll just leave myself then.
Are
No,
you
okay.
serious?
No. It did not come to me in a dream. Okay.
Fucking hell.
It came to me. Well, it didn't come to me actually. It was a conscious choice. Actually, it started because I wanted to write something that broke the concept of the rules of writing. And one of the rules of writing
Wow,
is
that's high concept. That's like really.
I was gonna say, that's really friggin' awesome.
it's one of the rules is of course don't have talking heads,
Yeah.
right? Sort of what they teach you, but I saw a way that it could be possible, and I decided to write it. But then you have to have that balance still,
Yeah.
because you can't have an entire story which is just talking heads. You always have to have a little bit of, there goes Pab again, have a little bit of, that is a beautiful pony on his whiteboard. I like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and
it's
one
great.
particular kidney
Isn't it
on the
great?
right. Is that
What?
a kidney?
Where
No,
kidneys.
to the right of the pony.
To the
Where's
right
the
of the
fava
pony.
beans?
It's
Yeah,
a kidney
it
with
does.
math on.
It is actually a diagram because I was doing math, but it does look surprisingly like a kidney. And then
Yeah.
to the left that we have a ancestral family tree.
Mm.
Do you still have Jaxie's help? I'm trapped in your basement up there, or did
Oh
that
yeah,
get...
that's right above the kidney.
Okay.
Mm. Anyway, sorry, I get distracted. What was I saying? Yeah.
You were
Okay.
talking about a conscious decision and talking heads and
heads and
balance.
violin.
You have to have the balance, because if not, you just get a dialogue-centric story, and a lot of my stories are very dialogue-centric. Table for Two is also another series that I wrote, which is about dialogues and
Yeah,
talk.
it's the main
And-
focus is just people talking.
and we. So sorry. So I had this thing where I just wanted to have a dichotomy between just dialogue and probably about like 90 to 95% just pure description, and that's what became of the story. And I was thinking of a setting, and it's like, okay, how am I going to do this, right? So talking is just discussion, so they have to be discussing about something, and then pure descriptions would have to be a setting where speech is not necessary. So I was thinking about things that, when do we ever come across things where we don't need to really talk? And I just thought dreams. When we dream, we take things in passively. We understand things. We know what's going on, but we don't necessarily speak in dreams or have to speak in dreams. So that's mainly where it came from. And everything else was a hell of a lot of just planning and figuring stuff out. And that was a headache.
Because I was going to say, you said you normally don't tend to really plan out your stories. Was the reason you planned this one out just because you were...
I don't plan out my comedies,
Okay.
but you can ask my editors and my friends. I'm gonna name drop Craig Javelin right now. Hi, Craig. He knows, and he has helped me out with so many things before in the past. Tons of story ideas and just discussion, and we can just talk about things for ages and ages just to get. And you should see some of my planning documents. They're longer than the story. The Dust and Harmony planning document is about 8,000 words long by itself.
So you've got the whole story planned out, and you're just writing it as you go?
Oh no, I don't even have the whole story planned out. That's the thing. Because I have the first book planned out for Dust and Harmony.
How far along in the first book are we?
We're
like approximate.
We're 2 episodes away until the end, and then we're going into book 2, which is tentatively called Driftwood Tree.
Cool. Spoilers, people. You heard it here first.
Yeah. But yeah, I plan quite a lot of stuff out. But Dust, I kind of knew where it was headed, so it's. I know I've abandoned quite a lot of stories before, especially my long ones when they get a bit too heavy for me to burden, and I apologize for that. I really do. I really, really do. But Dust I will finish because I actually have the ending in sight.
Very nice. For the first book or for all the however many books that have been
the first book. But I can safely say that even if I don't manage to get to the other 2 books, the first book will have a satisfying enough ending that it could end there. And that's also a conscious choice.
I say, and that's always the most important thing. There's a story that I'm not going to reference because I'm saying nasty things about it. That was a series of 2 books, and the first book ended with basically nothing resolved, and then started the second book, and I left a comment that was probably angry and that should have been basically saying, I'm sorry, this is not how you finish a book. The way you finish a book is you wrap up all the storylines. You go, here's the end of where the characters are going. Yes, maybe the character's not fully developed, but the thing they were reaching for is now achieved. You don't go, okay, we've hit the halfway point, now we're going into book 2.
Like, you said
really.
You said you need to wrap up all the story points. I'd argue that you don't, but you do need to wrap up the main driving force of the story. Like
that was basically what I meant. Was like the main goal that they're angling for needs concluded by the end of the book before you start another one. That's what I meant by the characters don't have to be fully developed. Was like, there may be side stuff, but you don't necessarily have to address that. But when the main goal is not completed, you're not done the book.
Because there is definitely the clear difference between the book's arc and the
characters.
The character arc, or even like the overarching like the series arc. Like you could say, Harry Potter book 1. Oh, they didn't kill Voldemort, so but that's not the point of book 1.
Yeah.
The point of book 1 was like introducing them to the school, you know,
Yeah.
dealing with the Philosopher's Stone and like wrapping up that stuff. So I mean,
Yeah.
even if you can argue, oh, but you know, nothing really changed in the grand scheme of the arc, there was still a lot of, you know, book-wide arcs that they completed.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
an example that I would give is the book series I'm currently reading, the Temeraire series. Book 1.
Yes! Amazing
Yeah.
books. Go read them.
It's amazing. They are amazing. I can confirm this. Book 1, by the end of it, Napoleon's still around. He's doing Napoleon things. Nothing there's really changed. It's just that they've discovered themselves and that they've learned who they are and they learned where they want to be, sort of thing. You know, it's a pretty much a
Like,
character.
the first book is basically the two characters literally do get thrown together and are figuring out how they're going to interact with themselves and how they're going to interact with the new environment they've been put in. At the end of the first book, they have basically figured that out.
And then the one of the characters, he's basically having to sacrifice almost every aspect of his previous life in order to take on this responsibility, and it's him learning to accept that, deal with it, and even appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
So, while overall no major developments have arguably happened,
The main book arc is still completed. Like, Napoleon isn't really the main point of the book. He's
the main point of
Napoleon,
the
I would argue,
series.
Napoleon is the main point of the series. It's set during the Napoleonic Wars. And definitely he is significant in that he is this kind of looming threat in the background. Like, everything they are doing
Sauron.
is being guided by... Yeah, basically. He's
Sauron,
Sauron,
and
with
this
a
is the
better
Fellowship
hat.
of the Ring. This is the Fellowship of the Ring. Sauron's not dead, but book's over. They've sorted out what they need to do for this book.
Yeah.
Well, but, I mean, in the original, Tolkien didn't want to split the books up into 3 anyways. He wanted it to be all one story.
Yeah.
True. But Tolkien was insane.
Yeah. There's also the fact that that's exactly what George Lucas wanted to do, and George Lucas is crap. So.
Oh god, can we not talk about that guy, please? I did not come on the stream to talk about George Lucas. Okay?
Soccer ball droid is so cute!
What?
I didn't come out to
George
talk about
Lucas?
George Lucas. I came to talk about weird Buzz Lightyear fetishes.
No. Can I just mention that downstairs I burst out laughing because I realized under my breath I was humming "You've Got a Friend in Me."
God damn it.
Oh god, why?
God,
But yeah, onwards and upwards.
there are several layers of comedy in that.
And
Sadly.
tragedy.
You know, the entire song is taking this sort of really dark tone now.
Yeah,
What
I
are
was
the
gonna
next
say.
lines? When the road looks tough ahead and your miles and miles from your nice warm
Nice
bed.
warm bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
dear.
something's happening here.
Oh, Christ.
We apologize, John Lasseter. We still
this-
love your series.
Yeah, this
love
does
it,
sound
John.
unfortunate,
Got
a
it.
bit like forcible touchings. So.
I'm already dead. Come on.
Rip.
Yeah.
Rest in
I'm
power.
already. You can't. There's no reception going on. 'Cause-
Rest
Alright,
in
so
power.
here's another question for you, Kitsu.
Go.
For the original Baby Tales, the suggestion was either to make it a comedy or to make it a horror. So why did you end up going like down the horror route rather than a comedy route?
Well, and relatedly,
Did you think
relatedly,
about-
I think I'd heard a spoiler that potentially there was a different horror story that was formulated, and so there are like multiple drafts of this thing. So do tell.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious to know, like, why, like, did you start drafting it as a comedy and then change your mind, or was it always a
Okay,
horror
okay.
from the beginning?
I had 3 choices to make.
Okay.
With something as ridiculous as, I mean, you guys know where it's from, right? The
Yes. Okay. For people,
We do, but why don't you explain for the stream, just in case?
Yes.
Okay, so one day I just blocked this picture that I found of a Chinese toy, all right, of a pony, and there was a doll's head inside the
Oh,
pony.
yeah.
it was this
That was
pony
the
had this
pony
really strange
tail.
blonde tail.
Yes.
when you
Yeah,
pried
was
it
actually
out,
the tail.
There was a
of-
doll head in the butt, and it was the doll hair that was making the tail.
Yes, and that bugger there, that
Magical.
one, who's not on screen, right?
Hello.
He just goes write it. So I said okay, and then that happened.
I'm still blaming Present.
So I immediately started thinking about what I could possibly do. with the concept of a head in a body, right? And I had 3 ways to do it. One was, well, first of all 3 were gonna have to be horror, right? It's gonna have to have elements of horror because it's a pretty horrible thing. But what kind of horror? Straight horror, just not so comedy horror like a Wayans Brothers movie, right? Or surrealistic horror. And I just was going back and forth about it quite a lot, and I was like, okay, you know what? I haven't written a actual horror thing for a very long time, so I just said, and it's going to be the most challenging. Let's try. And I like body horror a lot, right? I'm a big fan of body horror, and I like the mystery kind of thing. Horse Voice, I think, wrote one with the Tomb and Daring Do. I forgot the name. I'm sorry. I think that was his, and that one was really, really good as well. So I said, I want to try doing something like that, and that's just long story short. That's how it came out, and also I drank a lot.
Business as usual here. Oh, dearie me. But yes, any other stories that you wish to particularly ask about Ferret, seeing as you're probably the one who's read the most of its stuff?
Yeah, well, that's what happens when, you pretty much read the most. All right, what is the story between the marvelous adventure of Princess Fartsock's Sad Tales for Naughty Children?
Oh,
Because I remember you posting that.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, you're talking about it. I want to hear the story behind this one. Because I remember seeing that title and just kind of going, alright, I'll give it a shot, and then reading the first one and going, okay, now I gotta know. What?
Geez, how long ago was this? I actually forgot where she came out from, but the term fartsock came from an RP that I was doing with my friend Kyne Wolf, Cyne Wolf, W-L-F.
Oh, yeah, we know him.
I think he pronounces it Kyne Wolf.
Maybe.
Or Cine
I've
Wolf
always
or
said
whatever.
sign, but I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I was having this weird thing with him, and a weird thing with him.
Involving Buzz Lightyear?
Quite a while back. Yeah, no. A lot of those alien dolls, though. Anyway, we had an RP going on, and one of my characters was just this surly asshole, and he would just make up insults, right? And one of the insults that caught on was fartsock. And then after that, it just sort of like ballooned out of control, and then she became the third sister. And basically, I just had been like teasing, the fact that one day I'm gonna write about her, you guys. One day I'm gonna write about Princess Fartsock. Yeah. And then one day I just decided to write it, and it's horrible and terrible, and no one should ever read it. And
it's fucking hilarious. Also, the horse.
It's pretty dumb.
The horse. Ferret, you cut off there a second.
Ferret, are you live?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
I said the horse voice story you were thinking of is called The Writing on the Wall.
Yes, that's the one. It's a good story. People should read that one.
It's not as good as Princess Part. Pretty good.
Well, I
come on.
appreciate
Anytime
that.
a description, talks about a character as a weird attic sibling, it's going to be something different.
Jesus Christ.
So the concept was that she has a crown of 2-ply, and she rides upon the noxious cloud of fart jazz.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And she routinely defeats her enemies by killing them with diarrhea.
Yeah. Death is a good way to kill people.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can we not talk about this anymore? This is not.
Okay, let's talk about Barreled Up.
Sorry?
Let's talk about Barreled Up. Because that's another one I get a huge kick out of. Because to me, it feels like an episode. It just feels like a quintessential, like I could see this happening in the show, and I think it's hilarious.
It's a short episode if it was.
Yes, it's also like very early season rarity, I think. She's kind of gotten better in the later seasons, but in season 1, I could easily see this.
Oh, I wrote this back when season 2 was out, I think. I wrote it a heck of a long time ago, so that's pretty much it. I got nothing much to say about it. I think it's. I don't know why people like it that much, to be honest. I don't think it's really that good.
Alright, how about Lovesick?
That was actually. Oh my god, I'm dragging you through the mud, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, Lovesick was the. What do you want to know about it? It was literally the first.
I'm willing to know anything about it because I haven't read it because I am afraid of the tragedy tag. But I recall it coming out and a lot of my friends being really into it and discussing it endlessly, and me just sitting here going la la la. I don't want to hear it.
Seriously, all right.
Yes, seriously. I hate sad stuff.
She does.
It's not sad. It's tragedy.
Was Lovesick that one where the bad thing happens?
Yes. Exactly.
I know I read it. I just can't
So
remember.
let's talk about what was the inspiration for Lovesick? Was that another one that you really exhaustively planned out? I mean, did you
a little bit, yeah.
Description? Actually, there's a question. Do you when you plan it all out, do you follow that outline really rigidly, or it's sort of a loose guideline, or it's kind of a more of a middle ground?
Well, that's a good question. I'll come back to that later because I think that one needs a little bit more of attention, really.
Right.
But speaking about Lovesick, it was the first story I ever wrote. Not the first one I published, but the first one I ever wrote. And that was, 3.5 years ago? Jeez, time flies. This was even back when, Finfic didn't exist, and I was, trying my best, begging the mods at... Equestria Daily to please put my stuff up, please.
Yes.
And those were the days when it.
Google Docs, yes.
Yeah, it was actually published as a PDF. Okay, so Lovesick was, looking back on it now, there were a lot of things that I think I could have done better, but I'm not changing it because I'm not one of those kind of people who likes to go back and change stuff.
Yeah,
but I would freely admit that there are a lot of flaws in it that I would have fixed, knowing now what I did not know then. Probably the inclusion of a lot more Buzz Lightyear toys, for example.
A lot more forcible touching.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, forcible touchings. So, since you didn't read it, basically the concept was... wow, I can't even remember. Twilight.
I mean,
Twilight
the description
gets
is basically that
cursed.
Twilight and Celestia are dating, and Celestia says, "Don't tell anyone," and Twilight does, and then terrible things happen.
And that's how I got suckered in because I'm like, ooh, Twilestia shipping. Oh, this'll be romantic and kissy, and oh no. Oh no.
Oh, poor Pavi. Hug
Rip.
Sweetie Belle. She'll make it better.
I do apologize. You can
No,
come to
you-
my house for hugs. Okay. It's bad. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
It's not bad. It's just dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's dark. Yeah.
And
It's very
tragic.
dark. I wanted to write stuff outside of the the book. I think a lot of my stuff is outside of the book of generally what ponies should be and the tone of ponies. Barreled Up would be the closest I've ever written to an actual story that would fit nicely into the pony universe. Everything else takes something for granted, or you have to really suspend your belief. So especially for my horrors, right? And Lovesick had a lot of plus and minuses. I think I remember a lot of people not liking it for one thing, the ambiguous ending. People don't like ambiguity.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
people
never
tend
fun.
to really prefer a very direct ending, which is funny
Because
because
the
actually I
author-
often enjoy very ambiguous endings in theater
Yeah.
stuff. That's my favorite kind of play.
Yeah, like Inception and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the author Kits. Kits, the
Kits,
author,
yeah.
wrote one of the main sixes of Changeling the story, and famously didn't reveal who it was, and everyone was freaking out in the comments. And what?
Yeah,
One of them's a
need to
changeling?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this completionist thing that people need, the psychological concept of the completionist, where people just need to have everything in a story fit nicely. If not, it's not going to be good. And I think sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. Like, for example, in a story where the focus is a mystery, then you owe it to your audience to explain what all the things are at the end. You owe it to your audience to tell people. But if the focus is not the mystery, if the focus is more about atmosphere or being in the moment, then sometimes the answers are not as important as the journey there. So I think that's why everyone was pissed off with the ending of Lost, right? I know I was. Because they were like, we're going to tell you everything, all the mysteries. The hook of the show is the mystery. And when they don't tell you what the answers are, it's not satisfying. Yeah. But there are a lot of shows where, again, I bring up Inception, where the movie is less about the mystery and more about the guy's character and his growth and a character arc. So at the end, it challenges you to make up your own mind. And I kind of like that concept a lot, and I try to do that as much as I can in my writing. So I don't necessarily always give the answers, and that upsets quite a lot of people. But hey, that's fucking life here.
Inception is life, yes.
But jumping back a topic, you brought up the point that, especially in your early works, that you preferred things that were a little bit tonally different from the show, and so either that went into horror elements or darker elements. What is it about like mixing those two flavors of the the lighter pony elements and the like darker horror elements? Like what is it to you that speaks to you in mixing those things?
Well, good question. I like corrupting innocence. I think would be the best way to describe that. There is something about the world of MLP, right, where it was just happy rainbows and fluff and everything that made me just want to strangle them. No, made me want to approach things in a different light, So my other first work was a work called, which is not on FilmFake because the formatting is madness, but the first one that I published, I think on EQD, was a story called The Diaries of an Equestrian Overlord, right? I don't think any of you have read it. Very few people have, but it was one of the first few to come out, and it was thoroughly destroyed by past sins. So, just like everything else. What that was, right, was a project to rewrite the entire first series, the first series of MLP, all 26 episodes, from the perspective of Princess Celestia as if she were a megalomaniacal overlord. And it was a diary that you were reading. And it basically approached every episode from that perspective, and it had and it was also my attempt to actually tie every single episode together in one linear narrative, and it was pretty good, I think, quite successful. A few people liked it, but yeah, it's that thing where I like to take something and look at it from a different angle or try to put a different tone on it, and that's my entire career as a writer on FilmFake, really.
I don't think that's so bad.
Yeah, except for Baby Tales. Baby Tales is like it could be an episode, I think. Right.
I'd catch it on a Saturday morning cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, it's like rarity.
I would love like that ending in the hospital, and then just cut. My Little Pony.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Beautiful, fucking beautiful. Oh, Christ Almighty. Actually, given that, I'm afraid it's been 90 minutes already, so we should be bringing this podcast to a close sometime soon. Yes, I know, it's very disappointing. We didn't get to talk about Temeraire nearly as much as we should have. Or Kitsune. Right. Yeah.
I just squashed a spider, but it fell down beneath my desk, and I don't know where it is now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. So Red's gonna die before the next stream, confirmed. I didn't even get to talk about... True. I didn't even get to talk about Metal Gear. And I was...
Dude, MGS5, man.
It's fucking great. I love it. I'm gonna try and write 2 blog posts. The first one is the story up until the Phantom Pain, to try and just summarize it for people who've not necessarily been into the Metal Gear series. And the second one is gonna try and explain the whole Les Enfants Terribles and all that stuff. It's gonna take work. It's gonna take a lot of fucking work. But yeah.
The only thing I know about MGS5 is that you have a box and you can slide down hills in the box.
You can indeed. There's a fantastic thing where if there's one of the YouTube
Oh my God! There it is.
Yeah.
Someone found the spider, you know.
He's found the spider. There's a thing where if you sort of walk around under the box at the edge of the view of a Russian man, he'll report it in to his commander, and the commander will tell him to knock it off. If you keep on doing
that was so hilarious. When I first had that, I was scrambling in the box, and he was like, "Oh, there's a box."
There's a box over here. Knock it off.
But
if you keep on doing it, he gains permission from headquarters to open fire on the box. So if you get out of the box, he'll shoot the box, and then he'll report to HQ, I shot the box, but I don't understand it. It didn't react. This is HQ. Schedule a psych evaluation. Over. Fucking great. But yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about, but I'm not going to be able to. And for the previous week up until this podcast, I also wanted to talk about the fantastic return of Darth. But seeing as since his fantastic return, he's also fantastically quit again, I don't think we need to talk about that at all. So,
good news, everyone.
I am not